It's the Gitty Gang Show on Cigar Nation TV. It's the Gitty Gang Show on Cigar Nation TV. And we're coming to you live from CV Gitty. It's the Gitty Gang Show.
Gitty Gang Show.
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 It's the Gitty Gang Show on Cigar Box Nation TV.
Wrong one. Hold on, folks. We'll be with you very shortly. No, that's not it. Hold on. This is going great. I tell you what. I don't know. All right, gonna turn that off.
It's
turn
good.
that on. Push. Oh, jeez.
Well, while we're doing this, hello to everybody on YouTube. If you can hear me, I think I was just saying hi to Rick Stevens, Porno Studios, Larry, Rick Stevens, excuse me, Mike Adams, and then we're over there on.
Hey.
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 All right.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Gitty Gang Show. As you might have noticed by now, our good friend Mr. Lanciano, Nick Lanciano, is out this week.
Yes.
So we have we have to suffer through. All of us will suffer together. Me being here at the control desk. Of course, Glenn Watt holding down the Juke Shack stage.
Yes.
We've got I've got Facebook pulled up. I've got YouTube pulled up here. Glenn, I think, has both pulled up this week.
Yeah, I'm
You're
trying to
watching
work.
both?
Trying to work both
You
here.
know,
I'm not going to be good at it.
This is asking a lot out of a couple of guys who really aren't particularly good at much. I ain't gonna lie. But here we are, and I hope we've put together a decent show for you. Let us know if anything beyond the general is looking or sounding wacky. You let us know, and
Yes.
I will frantically mash buttons back here to try to fix it.
Nice.
So you've got a copy of the script up there, Glenn. I've got one
do.
here. Got some special things happening. Got a video this week from our good buddy Terry Mojo Johnson. If you've seen Terry Mojo and his band, the Swamp Drivers, they play an array of crazy homemade instruments, shovels and Harley crankcases and mufflers, and Terry's actually the guy. Well, we'll get into that. I don't want to get too far into it. Also got a feature for you all this week. It's a new to me, new to us. Maybe some of you have heard of it, but I sure haven't. It is a musician from the African country of Malawi. We got a pretty interesting story, homemade instruments, and going to be showing a video clip and some photos of that. I'm going to talk briefly. I'm at some point going to have to get up. Maybe Glenn could do his Vanna White impression.
Yes.
And show off some things. Of course, Watt Corner. Had some people drop by Gitty headquarters this week.
Yes.
All sorts of good. And a video from our good buddy Nick. Nick has sent us a video from the Highlands of New Hampshire. He's up there for the New Hampshire Highland Games, the Scottish Highland Games. Takes place every year up there. So he sent us a little Celtic whatnot from that.
Yes.
So I need my hobo fiddle.
Hobo.
I'll be right back. Hold on, everybody.
Hobo.
We're doing this. I don't know if we've got our wireless microphones on, and just got a message from AJ Gaither saying he's got some more kazoos ready.
Nice.
So hopefully this doesn't get too loud, but it might get loud. Shane Spiel out there, Back Porch Banjos, Mr. Jim Morris, good to see you out there as always. Brian Lehman, having a laugh over the Vanna Watts
Hey, now.
comment. Who we got on YouTube over there, Glenn?
Today we've got Rick Stevens. Of course, there's always the, I can't, it being YouTube, I can't understand every single username, but I think Mountain Grizzly's out there.
Oh, yeah.
I just lost the chat thing because I touched too many buttons on this thing.
Mashing the button. I see our good friend Sue Messias out there.
Yeah, is she in
her and I, we had a nice little laugh over Panjos earlier this week on the Friends of Gitty group. If you're not a follower of, a member of the Friends of Gitty group on Facebook, highly recommend that you do so. A lot of good, fun stuff happens on there. Speaking of good, fun stuff, take a look at this shirt. This is one of the new designs. I tell you, either larges are getting smaller or I'm getting bigger. Nothing heavy, but
perfect.
It's getting a little tight back here. But yeah, the Cigar Box Guitar Chords, we've had this as a poster and various things for several years now, but now it's available on a shirt. So if you ever get confused, you just kind of look down. I guess it should be upside down for that to work. But anyway, have your Cigar Box Guitar Chords on your shirt. Emiliano Bonato is saying, too much technology, just play something. So I'm going to do our best on that, Emiliano.
That's a great request.
It is good advice. I ain't going to lie.
Good advice, yes.
I don't have a pick over here.
So you did say hi to Sue already, just real quick. I know you're doing your thing. Sure. Ted Stahl is also over on YouTube. Porna Studios, if I missed you earlier, Rick Stevens and Larry. Now, we also got a ton of people, as always, over on Facebook. So I think it just goes, kind of need to say it, because it makes me feel better about life in general. But Rob Robles out there, Rob Cigar Box Guitars, Magic Daddy, Matthew Simpson. Who else you got out there? Come on now, Jimbo Burt, Roll Tide, Slim Jim, Keith Rierick. You already said Emiliano. Gitty Gangster Del Puckett's out there. Maureen Darcy McNeely.
McInerney. Pronounce that one right. It's not an easy name.
No.
Good to see Maureen out there.
Pete Graham.
Friend of the greenhouse.
Pete Graham saying hi from Connecticut. Pete Farley is actually driving up through your state right now. She's probably in Massachusetts by now. She was down south coming back home.
Coming home.
Oh, Mike Christ.
About that.
Yeah. Joe Caruso from up in Canada, I think. Michael Capato over there in Michigan. It's good to see all of you.
It is.
Yeah.
Rolling home, rolling home, rolling home across the sea, rolling home to old New England, rolling home I love to see. So there's one for Farley to hum to herself as she rolls home to old New England.
That's right.
Yeah, buddy. All right. So one of the first things I want to announce, I don't know if we've seen her out there today, but my dear mother, Ma Gitty, is she logged in?
She was.
Today is her birthday.
Hey.
I will not tell you which one, but it's a good one. So, well, not that,
They're all good.
Looks like she posted some photos being out and about today. She's an avid bird watcher. I think they're out watching some birds. So happy birthday, Ma. And in honor of that, in the key of G, Glenn and I trying to play from across the room here. It's going to be interesting. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Ma Gitty. Happy birthday to you. That's some fine bass playing there, Glenn.
Don't ever ask me to do anything impromptu. It'll be
sorry. I thought we had happy birthday in the bag. Turns out, folks,
not so much.
That bag is not as full as we thought it was. It might actually be empty. I ain't kidding.
Real quick now, Dave Gatton said he was watching on Facebook, but switched to YouTube. Too iffy on Facebook, so sometimes the quality drops in and out. Apparently, for some people on some devices. Also, Jeremy Shaw asked, "Are you guys going to sell shirts again?" Great question. Now, if you haven't already, if you're not already familiar, Jeremy, a lot of the T-shirts, I'm just going to speak for Ben. I'm sure I'll be corrected here in a minute.
Nothing.
A lot of the T-shirts have migrated from cbgitty.com to hobofiddle.com. That's hobo, H-O-B-O, fiddle, F-I-D-D-L-E.com. Hobofiddle.com has.
I'm trying to type it in here.
There you go. But it's going to have all the T-shirts, mugs, flip-flops, blankets, coffee mugs.
No blankets yet.
No,
But that
blankets,
is an
but-
option.
yeah,
I need a design that would fit well. It's more of like like a throw blanket sort of thing.
Even got
But-
tapestries.
Tapestries.
I got one here somewhere.
Somewhere. Yeah, but it's all print on demand, And the reason we switched to that model is that it allows a much broader range of designs and clothing styles. Like Glenn was saying, sweatshirts, t-shirts, all sorts of stuff that we could never effectively stock, like physically stock in inventory. Now available through hobofiddle.com. Some of the basic t-shirts, like the white on black printing, available for cheaper than when we had them here in stock. So yeah,
Yep.
good stuff. Hopefully good stuff. Some people are placing orders. I don't know. Jim Burt ordered one of the new limited edition
Panda Power. Nice.
shirts. I know it was on its way as of yesterday. It does look like Facebook might be freezing up. I don't know why.
Mark Zuckerberg.
Come on,
And Jim Morris is questioning whether or not, and I just got to, because I got to recognize it was a question, a valid one at that, if we'll be carrying thongs. If you are referring to men's underwear, it's possible.
No, it isn't. Sorry. No, we will not.
No.
They do have an option for like ladies swimwear though, and men's shorts, but I don't believe thongs or other such things are one of the options.
Nope.
So, as Dave Gatton said, if you're trying to watch this on Facebook, you can, and it's not working out for you, you can try to switch it over to YouTube and catch us on there. I wish I had a link.
Yeah, but it's on the Cigar Box Nation YouTube channel.
YouTube/Cigar Box Nation, something like that. Anyway, we're going to carry on and try to do our best here. So the next thing on the docket here is Mr. Terry Mojo Johnson. We've got a video that he sent us. He has built, well actually I got a graphic here. Let's see if I can bring up the graphic so you can see. There we go. Take a look at that. He has built a guitar, a 3-string guitar out of a Tiki Mask. Now this is an electric 3-string, and as he'll show in the video here, he, let's see if I can pull this back off. Nope. Hold on, folks.
Brace yourself.
Oh, it's getting good now. There we are. Build it primarily using Gitty parts, CB Gitty parts. So let's take a look at this video that Terry was good enough to send us. And yeah, buddy.
Yeah,
gonna mash some buttons here. Stuff is happening.
Hey everybody, this is Terry Mojo
Jim, I'm sorry.
Mojo Johnson Guitars. Just want to show you a little build that I just finished. I tell you what, I get all my parts from Ben and the CB Gitty crew. As you can see, I got a lot of guitars behind me. This thing here just turned out so cool, I want to share it with everybody here. I want to tell you some of the parts that I get from Ben and the crew at CB Gitty for my builds. Let's start with my tuners, fret wire, the strings, the pickup, the volume tone control, the output jack, the bridge. Everything on this guitar, except for this tiki face, I get from CB Gitty. I'll give you a little sound check on this thing here. Tell you, I can't stress enough, guys. Check out, they got everything there for all your builds. I don't work there, have nothing to do with it. I'm just another builder that buys their parts there, and I just wanted to just thank all the guys up there, because I get the inspiration and they give me the parts to fulfill that inspiration. So, anyways, I'll give you another little close up. Again, this is Terry Mojo Johnson from Mojo Johnson Guitars. Thanks, guys. Hey everybody, this is Terry Mojo Johnson.
Audio,
Mojo Johnson
okay. Well,
Guitars.
thank you, Terry, for sending that in. It's definitely good stuff. That is Terry Mojo Johnson. I pasted a link to his site where he has that guitar and quite a few others available. He's a builder. He's in a band. He plays the heck out of it. He actually has his own weekly live broadcasts that he does here on Facebook. Mojo Monday, I believe he calls it. He's always doing some interesting stuff. So thank you, Terry, for sending that. Good guy. I hope to get down. He's not that far away. He's just over a little past Schenectady, New York. And of course, we're here in New Hampshire, so it's not that far away. I got to get down there and meet up with Terry one of these days. But yeah, good stuff. It seems like the Facebook feed is doing a little better. It's hard for me to tell on this end. But again, you can go over to YouTube, and they say it's looking pretty good over there. I don't know what's going on with Facebook today, but hey, we got no control over that. What we do have control over is what's next on the script. What do we got, Glenn?
Today and today only looks like song. After song, which is an empty slot.
Song might have been a holdover from last week.
We do have Malawian Canjo man Lazarus.
Yes. Why don't we go right to that? While Glenn and I discuss song and what song might be. Because honestly, we have no idea. Are my cue cards over there?
Cue cards, yes.
Boy, this is a goat show, folks.
Hey, greatest of all time.
You know, all new show this week. I'll be right back. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All new show. All right, so just make sure. Here's my Terry Mojo Johnson cue card. Let's see, Wild Crazy Demo, Swamp Drivers page on Facebook for those live broadcasts. Oh, the one thing, I'm glad I looked at this. Terry actually was on the Rachel Ray show a couple of years ago. He built a guitar out of one of Rachel Ray's frying pans. You know, she's got a whole line of homewares, housewares, kitchenwares, and such. Well, he built one out of one of her orange frying pans, sent in a video of him playing it, and ended up being on the show, playing it live on the Rachel Ray show. So that was pretty cool, helping to bring some, you know, national, international recognition to homemade instruments.
Bada bang. Looks like your mother just joined. She might have been away for a bit, so she may have missed the performance.
I think she saw it. She said thank you right after.
All right.
Had some troubles, made it back.
Do we have we do have a question from Jeremy. Anything on YouTube? Thank you very much, Jeremy, for being out there on YouTube. It's awesome. And Greg Tiffany. But Jeremy asks, is there anything new coming from the parts department? CB Gitty.
The parts department.
Got anything new in the works?
Well, we got in it's not all that exciting, but the hardtail bridges, kind of like the one you just saw on Terry Mojo's build there, ordered some in black. We've always had them with like the V style of saddle. Well, they sent roller style saddles, so we just got those listed. Last week, Jeremy, we showed off a bunch of new stuff. Bone slides.
Yeah.
I got one right here.
Also got some black bone nuts in.
Black bone, yeah, dyed bone. They take cow bone and they soak it in dye. I guess those count as parts, I guess. The nut blanks, saddle blanks, which actually those bone saddle blanks, we haven't had saddle blanks like that before, so that's an entirely new product. We do have some cool stuff coming. I'm going to be talking about the new Hobo Fiddle kit here in a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have, should be getting close. I ordered, I got some stuff coming from a new company, some new varieties of tuners, you know, machine heads, a little bit fancier. Some of them is still considered economy grade, but different styles and a little fancier than some of the ones we've carried. So I am still trying to branch out and expand some of that. My chair keeps sinking down here. But yeah, always some new stuff showing up. We've got some new laser cut stuff on the docket, so definitely stay tuned. Keep myself centered. All right, so that was all of that. So now I want to show you an image first. See if I can get this figured out. Mash some buttons, push that in, pull that out. That didn't do it. Man, you know, if this was easy, I tell you what.
While you're pressing buttons, I just want to say, oh, there we go.
There he is. So this is Lazarus. Lazarus is from Malawi, country in southeastern Africa. He kind of like the story of We Say, but with some differences. Lazarus is an albino, and in that culture, in that part of Africa, albinos have a pretty hard time. They are attacked and persecuted. for various reasons. Some people think that their body parts are magic and used in magic spells and such. But they have a hard time, traditionally have always had a hard time over there. Let me see if I can pull that back. Nope. Turn that off. Bring that in. Nope. Hold on. Ruining my story here, aren't I? Push. Nope. Push. Hey! There. So he built himself a banjo, or a canjo actually, out of an old gas can, wooden neck, and using some bicycle brake cables as strings, very similar to how we say over in Liberia, built his instrument, his guitar, out of a gas can or an oil can and some motorcycle brake cables. Now Malawi is like kind of the opposite corner of the country in Africa. Liberia is up here on the west coast on the Atlantic Ocean. Malawi is down kind of southeastern near the Indian Ocean down there. And it's funny how I came by this, because I had never heard of Lazarus or any of this before. So I got a Google alert that there was a music festival happening in Edinburgh, Scotland, right? Like you wouldn't think of Edinburgh and Malawi being related, but they're having a festival there in the city for African music styles. And I saw, the reason it flagged as a Google alert for me, is that one of them was listed as Lazarus, the Malawian Kanjo man. So I saw Kanjo, I was like, well, what's this about? Dug in a little deeper, started doing some research. As I said, he was born as an albino in Malawi, has kind of had to be on the lookout his whole life for people coming after him. Built himself a banjo, began busking on the streets. He was noticed by Johann Hugo of the band The Very Best and the Mumford & Sons band.
Wow.
Johann Hugo's been involved in them. A Malawian friend sent Johann a video clip of Lazarus busking, and he was intrigued by the sound that he was able to get out of that homemade banjo, intrigued by the story of the trials and tribulations that albinos in Malawi face. So he decided he wanted to help. He went over, started work on a documentary, started to try to figure out how to record an album with Lazarus. And I have a video clip, so please bear with me. I'm going to be running a video clip here shortly. They discovered fairly quickly that the tuning and intonation of his homemade banjo made it very difficult for him to play along with other musicians. So Johann and another guy, Winston Marshall from Mumford & Sons, they called up Deering Banjos here in the U.S. and sent him a picture of what Lazarus played and said, what can you do? And Deering basically built Lazarus using a gas can, but with a more traditional banjo neck, 4-string banjo neck, and some conventional banjo strings. Built an instrument still in the style of his original and with a similar sound, but one that could be more effectively played with other musicians. Yes. And I think that's pretty cool. I wish they had called C.B. Gitty instead of Deering, but you know, I play a Deering. My 4-string Irish tenor banjo is a Deering Good Time, and I've always been a fan of those. So without further blabbery here, I'm going to do my best on the first go this time. Oh, okay, well, on the second go. Here we go. All right, I'm going to turn off our audio.
Amaida bambu utiyanganire noka usale metsede ndizoko masanzibo ndikukumbutseni ali kwatu waife sipatsiko lapasi kwatu ife kumamba maida bambo muziyang'anire noka.
All right, folks, don't panic. Gonna have this back here any minute. There we are. So that was actually a bit of the trailer, the teaser trailer for the documentary about Lazarus. As you can see in there, he plays more conventional guitars, but you also saw a couple of glimpses of that original homemade banjo, gas can banjo that he had made. The documentary on Lazarus premiered at the 2019 Tribeca Film Festival in New York. They flew him over from Malawi for the premiere, and he won the Disruptive Innovation Award, which I think is one of the coolest award names ever. I'd like to win a Disruptive Innovation Award, because really that's kind of what all of us who build homemade instruments are doing. We are sort of disrupting the conventional music industry and a lot of the assumptions made by that music industry, you know. So yeah, Disruptive Music Award. And his album entitled Stomp on the Devil has been released. The whole album was recorded right outside Lazarus's home in Malawi, and you can find it in various places, but it is on Spotify if you have a Spotify account. I listened to the first couple of tracks. Really, I don't know a lot about African music. You heard a little clip of it there. To me, I don't know what the heck they're saying, but it's very just uplifting. Like, it makes you want to move. It makes you feel happy. It makes me feel happy, at least. So, yeah, buddy, there you go. So Lazarus, the Malawian Kanjo man, I hope that we will see and hear more from him in the years ahead. Wish I had a good segue to put on after that.
Well,
you know, well, I don't.
Here we are.
Actually, I've been doing a lot of talking. Here's a little more music. I'm going to put our buddy Nick on. Nick sent us a video from up in the Highlands, the Helands of New Hampshire, up there for the Scottish Highland Games in the White Mountains. So you'll see me, there'll be some frantic mashing about here once again. Gonna turn this off, transition that in.
As I was going over the Kangtulu Mountains, I met with Captain Farrell, and his money he was counting. I first produced my pistol, then produced my rapier, saying stand and deliver, for we are a bold deceiver. Masharing Gamaduma died. Whack fall the daddy-o, whack fall the daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. I counted out his money, for it made a pretty penny. I put it in me pocket, and I brought it home to Jenny. She sighed and she swore she never would deceive me, but the devil take the women, for they never can be easy. For showering Gamaduma died. Whack fall daddy-o, whack fall daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. Went into my chamber, all to take a slumber. I dreamt of golden jewels, and for sure it was no wonder. Jenny took me charges, she filled them up with water, sent for Captain Farrell to be ready for the slaughter. For showering Gamaduma died. Whack fall daddy-o, whack fall daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. It was early in the morning, just before I rose to travel. The guards were all around me, and likewise was Captain Farrell. I first produced my pistol, for she'd stolen away my rapier, but I couldn't shoot through water, so a prisoner I was taken, for shall ring dama duma die. Whack fall, daddy-o, whack fall, daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. If anyone can aid me, 'tis me and brother in the army. If I can find a station in Cork or in Killarney, if you'll go with me, we'll go roaming in Kilkenny, and I bet you'll treat me better than me darling sporting Jenny. But I'll ring daba duma die. Whack fall daddy-o, whack fall daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. But I'll ring daba duma die. Whack fall daddy-o, whack fall daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. From Lincoln, New Hampshire, to you, the Gitty Gang, thank you. And I hope you all have a good weekend. Ben, Glenn, have a great show.
You know,
Ain't he a thing?
thank you, Nick, for sending that. But I'm just gonna say I'm mashing the buttons a little better. I'm starting to feel like I know what the heck I'm doing instead of just random.
Getting in his groove.
Oh, look out, people!
Look out.
So I just Nick will be back hopefully with us next week. And some folks mentioned they like when he sings that song. And Craig Tiffany on YouTube asked, "What's it going to sound like in a few more hours when he tries it again?"
That's a great question.
That song translates well into more advanced, shall we say, activities. I've found. I long have said, you know, playing Irish and Scottish music, it's almost easier to play it with a little bit of a buzz on, I think, but whatever. Glenn, you mentioned someone on YouTube there said something about the Chicago Fest.
Yeah, so Kurt Gibbs over on YouTube had mentioned that he was thanking you, us, the show, for announcing the Chicago. I said it.
Hey.
Chicago Cigar Box Guitar Festival last week. He got his hotel booked soon after last week's show.
Nice.
Yeah, that's
Much
awesome.
more proactive than I am there, Kurt Gibbs. I ain't gonna lie. But we're going to, that's coming up beginning of November. Of course, in a week from today, the Georgia International Third Annual Cigar Box Guitar Festival will be going on down there in beautiful McDonough, Georgia, on the outskirts of Atlanta, I believe.
Hotlanta.
Hotlanta. Ooh.
The county seat of Henry County is McDonough, Georgia, I think.
Wow.
Look at these little fun facts.
Big doings.
Big
That's
doings.
all I'm going to say. Big doings indeed. So Glenn is holding, or he was holding until I distracted him, the work in progress for the Hobo Fiddle kit. I'm building this, I guess you could call it a prototype of the kit, and using it, photographing it to create the how-to guide. Of course, I've applied some stain to this, so it's got a little darker look, but you can see the etched Hobo Fiddle fretboard on there that includes some real hobo signs, the nicely printed box with that old cigar box style print design on it. So as you can see, so far the box isn't sealed shut yet. I've got the box notched, the neck notched, the headstock notched, got the retainer nut glued in, got the fretboard glued on. So I'm getting close to having it done and then finishing the guide. So work still continues, although this week I have been a little distracted. Thank you, Glenn.
Is this getting to be a bit too much?
Well, no, he's doing great. He's doing fine, folks. There's no stopping him. I've been kind of focused this week. I've got a fundraiser started for something you've heard me talk about a lot, and that is the greenhouse. My friend Charlie Boyle's greenhouse. He passed away 2 months ago, and we're trying to find a way to save and preserve that spot. here in Dover, New Hampshire, well, in nearby Dover, New Hampshire, as an Irish heritage center, a Dover Irish Heritage Center for many years to come, where music and stories and crafts and agriculture and all of those Irish Celtic heritage activities and things can be carried on. Just launched the fundraiser 2 days ago, and I just got to say, Jim Morris, God bless you. You're a great man.
Yes.
And I know it doesn't really pertain to cigar box guitars. It doesn't pertain to those of you who don't live around here, but that is what it's been a whirlwind so far this week, getting all of that going. But I will be back fully focused on the Hobo Fiddle kit soon, I hope. So,
Real quick, Johnny Wick asked, why is there a hole in the back of this base? I needed to cut an access panel to get the when this kit was assembled, it was glued shut, as is someone's want.
And that was the first release candidate prototype of the G-Base kit.
Yep.
So we were still figuring a couple of things out on that one. Yeah.
Absolutely. So just to answer your question, Johnny Wick, I was just trying to gain access to the electronics after this thing was glued shut, and chose not to cover it back up just because I figured I'd want to get back in there and not have to screw anything up. So that's why.
Yeah. And why not?
And why not?
So
no rules.
I believe now, Mr. Glenn, without further ado. All right.
Oh, out of tune.
Well, who's keeping track? Really?
Wowzers.
It's all just fun here today. So I'm going to try to get this Watt Corner graphic up on the screen.
And I can move back, forward.
Yeah, you got to
down.
scoot a foot to your right.
My right.
This is high tech. Folks.
Stage
I ain't
left.
Gonna lie. A little bit of.
How about that?
That's going to be great.
Wait.
And here it comes.
Get some.
Oh,
Get
Watt
some. Come
Corner.
on.
Yeah.
Look at this guy doing his thing. Welcome back to Watt Corner. You know the deal. So I'm just going to...
Oops.
Yes.
Well, you'll have
It's the
that.
Panda Corner. Panda power to the people. The people's Panda power. First up, we have in Watt Corner from Clutch Creations. Look at this bad rabbit. Now this is, if you just let it feast your eyes upon this thing real quick, because Clutch Creations all the way there from Queensland. Our friends from down under who must be coming out of their winter right about now, coming into spring.
Yeah.
Yep. But this is a hollow body V guitar with a 60s, I think it's a 68, doesn't matter, but a 60s Ford hubcap embedded in that hollow body V body. Now it's wrapped in a burl walnut veneer with oak bindings, and Clutch Creations was kind enough to let us know that he used the chrome snake oil humbucker that you see in there, the tuners, knobs, and fret wire, all Gitty stuff. I gotta admit, I haven't seen something quite like this, so I'm always impressed by stuff that kind of shows up on the radar or something that hasn't been seen before, at least by my eyes, and I think this thing is totally rad. And Clutch Creations also says it sounds pretty good too. Through an image I can't tell, but it does look pretty awesome, so I imagine it sounds just as awesome. So thank you very much, Clutch Creations, for sharing something that is not only inspiring, but is so well beyond my level of capabilities that I'll go back to my sticks and boxes. Next up, we've got from Dono. Now this is actually pretty cool. They're all pretty cool, but what I mean by that is that this is, on the left, your left, you can see Frank Zappa's son. Above Dono, who is on the right there, on the marquee above Dono, you can see that Dweezil Zappa is advertised on the marquee. Dweezil Zappa, Frank Zappa's son. Frank Zappa had at least 2 kids. One was Moon Unit, and the other Dweezil. Dweezil is the boy who's
there's a third, too.
Is there a third?
I can't...
Hopefully it's like John.
I don't think
Robert,
it was,
Dweezil, and Moon Unit. But nonetheless, or Mary. Anyways, but I used to listen to Dweezil way back in the day. That dude, he went in his younger days. He went through his shred phase, so he's just one of those up and down the fretboard guys. But he's big into jazz and blues and rock as well. And Dono built him a guitar just because Dono likes him, and I don't blame him. I think that's pretty neat. In the next image that Ben has for you, you will see the license plate resonator guitar that he built for Dweezil, that Dono built for Dweezil. And about that guitar, if we can stay on this image just for a moment, Dono writes, this is the Zappacaster. It's a 3-string license plate guitar he put together in honor of Dweezil Zappa's 50th birthday. He used, from CB Gitty, Dono used a Chicago electric 3-string cigar box guitar kit, but he also used a license plate resonator box and then saved the box that he received with the Chicago kit. It was so nice he saved it for another project. And as you can see, Dono's using a custom license plate, it reading Dweezil, a North Carolina plate. Love this. Thank you very much, Ben. You can see the Chicago, I'm kidding around, Chicago electric guitar kit used in this particular motif, this style. About it, he writes, "It's only the 3rd cigar box guitar I've ever built, but I'm super stoked with how it came out, and I'm looking forward to putting the many lessons I learned on this build to good use on my next build." That is that is the best possible mindset. So if you're seeing this, if you're watching this, Dono, good for you for having that perspective. That's awesome. Dono writes, "I was able to give this guitar to Dweezil after his sound check at a show in Knoxville, Tennessee, earlier this month, as it turns out. Dweezil asked me a few questions about it before he said, 'Well, let's plug it in and see how it sounds.' Dweezil then noodled around on it a bit and deemed it cool, as in quotes. And so Dono writes that he's super stoked, and CB Gitty made it possible to be the 2nd coolest guy in the room for just a minute that night. So thank you very much, Dono. I think that's pretty cool. And this is you all may be able to relate to what Dono did. I can relate to it in that I have had people that I've admired, celebrities or people who have influenced me musically or artistically or on some level, and I've wanted to give them a thing that I have made, in this case a cigar box guitar. Out there, I'm not gonna stall the show waiting for anybody to respond, but if you don't mind just kind of plugging in the name, if you've had a celebrity in mind, whether you have or have not thought about or whether you have or have not actually built them a guitar, can you just plug that celebrity into the comments for me? Just who's the celebrity that you have felt like, I want to build that person one of my things, or that you actually have and then presented it to them. I think one of my first was Shane Spiel way back in the day. I was like, I want to build Shane a guitar. Like he can't build his own, or nobody's ever built one for him before, but nonetheless. So who is your celebrity for whom that you would like to build one of your guitars? I'd like to know that. Next up, we have us.
Well, I'll tell you, this next celebrity is indeed one that quite a few have built guitars for, and here we go. Speaking
of celebrities, we have, I recognize her from somewhere, I don't know where, but that is Samantha Fish, and Hanley's Cigar Box Guitar sent this picture, and he writes that he was asked to build 2 guitars for Samantha Fish. So he built her a 4-string and a 6-string, and here she's playing the 6-string. Samantha recently had an album drop, as the kids say. She dropped a new album. I think she's on a new label, and it's a very rock, blues rock focused album, label, if I understand correctly. But she's been receiving a lot of press, and I'm happy to see her continuing to hold on to her roots music style. She also plays conventional 6-string guitars. I often see her playing a Gibson SG and whatnot. She could easily just walk away from the roots movement and play her conventional 6-strings and act like she didn't, like she never touched these homemade instruments before, but she still proudly plays them on stage. And I can't, I've never met the woman in person. I'd love to shake her hand, because she sticks to the roots. Not that that's not her sole instrument or her sole motivation, but that she sticks to it is hat-tipping worthy. So thank you very much, Samantha, and thank you, Hanley. I think it's Scott Hanley who sent in this picture. So awesome stuff. Next up, and last up, as it were, is Magic Daddy. Now, actually, I have something I got to post in the comments too. Magic Daddy has posted in the Friends of Gitty Facebook group. If you're not part of it, will you at least go over, check it out? I think you would enjoy it. It's such a positive group of good folk sharing and inspiring each other, sharing with and inspiring each other. Magic Daddy put up this picture and has put in a request for more pictures. And here, I'll read you what he wrote. Hello, friends of CB Gitty and Gitty Gangsters, that's all of you, and all the proud members of Cigar Box Nation. I hope this picture, this post, finds you doing well. I am working on a video project, and I need your help. It doesn't matter if you're a builder, player, fan, or whatever. If you're part of this community, I'm asking for your help. I would like to include as many of us as possible in this video project that I'm working on. So here's what I'm looking for from you guys and gals. Submit a picture of yourself along with your name, city, business name if applicable, and if you're a builder, player, or what your role is in the community. Pretty easy, right? So you can post here in the comments, writes Matthew, Magic Daddy. You can post your picture here in the comments of that post or message him directly on Facebook. We all appreciate your help and support for this endeavor. Keep it loud and rowdy. Build, play, repeat, he writes. And if you don't mind, there's a few pictures that have already been shared in this post of people who are somewhat less visible, maybe more private or don't often post pictures of themselves, but since they did it so publicly in the group, I felt inclined to share their images here because I'm proud of these folk for contributing and being a part of this larger community. And this here is Mark S, I believe, or Mark. Next up we have, I may have lost some of the names, I think that's John G. Good to see you, John. Next up we have, we got Sue. Sue is a relatively new member, not Sue Messias, but, well, Sue M. This is Sue S from up in O Canada, I believe. And up next, and perhaps, nope, not last. And then, oh my goodness, I lost my list. I'm so sorry that I've forgotten. I've forgotten who this is, and I didn't mean nothing by that.
I got it. Count on Gitty.
Count on the Gitty.
Tom S.
Tom S. I know your last name. Tom S.
Wearing a fine, one of the new shirt designs there, I believe.
Yeah. And then last up, I believe, we got the from Shacksonville, hailing from Shacksonville. It's Shackerific. It's Shack.
Shacktacular.
It's Shacktacular. Shacktastic, Shackful. Dude, it's good to see you out there. Each and every one of you who have contributed one of your images to this post, I personally thank you. I know Magic Daddy, Matthew Simpson is also happy to receive those. I'm actually actively...
still not sure exactly what he's going to do with them.
I don't know either, but I think I've seen
something good.
Yeah, I've seen some stuff other people are doing. I think is really impressive. So I'm going to post right now. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. I may get marked as spam in YouTube, but I just posted the link to the Facebook post in YouTube, and now I'm posting it into the Facebook feed as well. So if you're watching, whether you're watching live or whether you're watching recorded, there's the link. There's the link to the post in the Friends of Gitty Facebook group, where I hope that you feel inclined to share an image of yourself, that you're a builder and player, all the necessary information, and we get to include you. Matthew gets to include you in his video. So yeah, thank you very much. That has been.
Dun, dun. Oh, wait. Oh.
Hey.
Oh, so close to being in tune. All right, so I'm trying to mash. What am I even doing here? Who even knows? You know, something. Hold on, folks.
Hold on. I'll give you a jig. I know that's what you wanted.
I don't think that's what the people... Oh, all right, so you got to scoot back over 6 to 8 inches to your left. And there's Dave Gatton mentioned that he built a guitar for me, and it is now directly behind Glenn. The Pando Caster there from our good buddy Dave Gatton. Thank you again for that. Matthew just said... Holy moly.
I know.
Could you
not what it was intended for.
Could you hear that? I bet they could through your mic.
Yeah.
I didn't even know he could do that. It's like an onion. There's always a new layer.
Just keep it buried and hidden.
Pack. Matthew Simpson saying, finished project should be here. We should have it by Wednesday.
Oh, cool.
Apparently. So yeah, good stuff happening.
Nice.
Glad to hear about that. Jim Morris of Back Porch Banjos saying, Mr. Magic Daddy's gonna put us in the movies.
Oh.
Yeah, they're gonna put me in the movies. That's the only part of that song I know.
Nice.
Just launch into it, folks. Never think twice. Don't even look back. Don't even look forward. Just launch. All right. Just wanted to say again, people have been mentioning the shirts. This is a new shirt design. Glenn's wearing one of the classic designs, the Hard Times Make Great Music. In the previous lineup of photos there, Tom S. was wearing one. All of them now available through hobofiddle.com. Not just on t-shirts, but in a range of colors, sweatshirts. I've got the Gitty Gangster sweatshirt nearby. Here's the Gitty Gangster t-shirt I was going to put on, and then I realized, hey, I've already got a good shirt on. Why not wear that? So, yeah, all sorts of cool stuff available. Winter is coming up, at least for those of us here in the northern hemisphere, so sweatshirts and hoodies and such like that, all kinds of great stuff. Get on there and get yourself one, right? All right.
I like
What do
it.
you got, Glenn?
And I tell you, this is something I'm very sensitive about, and I don't mean this in a bad way. This is over on YouTube. I can't. It might be Jimmy Q 417. You're absolutely right. In that, it would be nice for us to have things to look at while we're doing the show, other than a phone or an iPad. Because I am one of those old school people that think this is super rude. To be looking at something other than each other or the camera, but in order, it just, you get it, man. In order for us to see what you're talking about, we kind of need to be looking down at phones and stuff. So none of us are proud of having to look away from the show, but it is unfortunately a necessary evil. It's either that or ignore people, and that's not my jam.
We don't quite have the budget to have like teleprompter screens or things in front of us.
But we accept donations.
Well, yeah, write all requests on the back of a $50 bill and send that right in. By God, we'll get on it.
But you're right.
Nothing heavy.
But you're right.
A couple of small monitors, yeah, like right over the camera.
That'd be
ideally,
sweet.
Would be cool.
Teleprompter. I'd love to just read. Anyways, continue.
No thought. All. Yeah. He's going off prompter.
I know.
All right. One more thing I just wanted to show you. Earlier this week, was that yesterday? We had a good buddy stop by that Glenn and I first met up at the main Cigar Box Guitar Festival earlier this year that Marty Tolber put together. Now, Marty was here earlier today. Mm-hmm. I walk in bright and early at 5 after 9, running right on time as usual. And there's Marty talking with Glenn. He was dropping off some Wicked Bucker pickups for us. Of course, we sell Marty's Wicked Bucker hand-wound surface mount humbucker pickups, and also he was here to pick up. I don't think it's a secret that he's going to be doing some solid body. Speaking of looking at phones, let's just go ahead and ignore that call. Some solid bodies. So I have some Telecaster necks on hand, all pre-made with the truss rod, all of that. Had them on a shelf for several years now. Used to sell them. Yeah. Decided to stop selling them, so Marty took a few of those off with him, and I think he's out there, but
he is
watching it. I know he will do good work with it. Yes, but anyway, didn't launch into this to talk about Marty. Launched into all of this. Oh, this is going to go great, folks.
What you got?
There's no chance.
Shirts?
No chance I'm going to screw this up several times.
Oh, John Matrishon.
Mashed all the buttons. Going to hit this. There you see him.
Booyah.
That is, of course, Mr. John Matrishon wearing one of the new line of shirts, the Cigar Box Guitars design. He stopped in to see us on Wednesday.
Yeah.
It was Wednesday afternoon. He happened to be in the area for work, and John said, hey, I'm in the area. Can I stop by? And I said, absolutely, you can. So he came in, and we gave him a quick tour and stood about and talked and all the good stuff. So glad that John was able to make the trek to Giddyville. Hey, we're back. Hey, mashing those buttons, yeah. Now, if only I had some more stuff to talk about.
Well,
we're almost to an hour, though. Hey.
I don't think I got any celebrities. No, am I the only person out there who
was there? I saw some on YouTube. I saw Ed Sheeran.
Oh, did you? Why am I? Johnny Lang. Johnny Long. Yeah.
Johnny Long or Lang, yeah, one of them.
Bill Wimmerman. That's right. I'm sorry. I told.
I actually helped. It was our good buddy Charlie Rayfeld of Tejas Cigar Box Guitar Company down in Texas. Got to meet Charlie and his wife at the New Orleans Cigar Box Guitar Festival 2 years ago, where Samantha Fish was the headliner. Charlie had built a cigar box guitar for Samantha, presented it to her. I brought him up into the green room and he presented it to her. Well, she was doing a lot of her own loadout for that show, like winding cables and wheeling boxes off the stage. And she's getting ready to go, and I noticed the guitar still in the green room. So I ran out, gave it to her. She thanked me, put it in the van, poof, off they go. So, yes, that's playing a small role in making sure she took it with her.
Yeah, that's awesome. It really is.
Actually, Shane, I don't know if Shane's still out there. He tells the story way back when he first got into cigar box guitars. He built one and gave it to Ian Anderson of Jethro Tull.
Okay.
Somehow he got backstage at the Jethro Tull concert, gave it to Ian Anderson, thanked it, thought it was cool. Shane takes off. Many years, not all that long ago, many years later, somebody gets a hold of Shane saying they had the guitar. It was a stagehand at that show who, after the show, found it in a garbage can.
Ah.
But he pulled it out, saved it, and I think Shane has that guitar back now. So that's the tricky bit with celebrities, folks. You never know.
Well,
You never-
and gifts
you
to
know,
people who don't know they're coming, and
And
you
they
know.
probably, it can only fit so much stuff on the bus
Right.
and all that. So anyway, yes.
I'll tell you, to non-celebrities, I have given away several, to say the least, several guitars, unsolicited gifts, and not one of those have I ever received a thank you or a hey, I found you gave me a guitar once, now I found your YouTube channel or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, so it can be tough. I'd say keep expectations low,
Well,
hopes high.
yeah. Hey, that goes for life, doesn't
Yep.
it? You want to talk through the upcoming events there, Glenn?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Yeah, why not?
I'm looking
We're
at
getting
Nathan's
towards the
comment.
end.
He would love to watch Les Claypool on this bass. I agree with you, Nathan. I'd love to watch Les Claypool play any bass, especially that Whamola that he popularized not that long ago. Upcoming, we have for Cigar this weekend, and what has already started. Excuse me, I think, or at least later on today. But this weekend is the 2019 Denton Blues Festival. And it runs from today till Sunday in Quakertown Park, Denton, Texas. We also
So
have
not related to Eric Denton.
no. I was
Oh,
gonna
I
say,
thought, oh wow,
not-
Eric put a whole fest together.
Old man Denton's stepping up in the world.
really
got his own festival in his own town. We also have in Texas. There's I think 4 festivals that are blues and/or cigar box guitar related. At least 4 this fall. Anyways, also this weekend, tomorrow, is the Let's Rock Cigar Box Guitar Festival in Kema
Yeah.
Boardwalk in
Kema.
Kema, Texas.
Yeah, hell.
And they, unbeknownst to me until just now, or earlier, whatever. One Hand Dan's going to be
One
there
Hand Dan.
with he's going to have an open jam session. I believe there's going to be an activity at the Let's Rock Cigar Box Guitar Festival in Kema Boardwalk, Kema, Texas tomorrow. They're going to have an activity where kids are going to be building and decorating their own cigar box guitars. So I think they got a whole thing going on there.
Yeah, they do.
I haven't had any personal contacts with anybody involved with the festival. I found these events, as I do many of them, on cigarboxnation.com. They're not hard to find. If you go up to the top of the page over on the far your left, that last tab reads events. You click events and it'll bring you to what's all lined up. But also, so that's it for this weekend that I'm aware of for the larger events. I think, Samantha Fishes, if you're interested in seeing her, she's playing somewhere this weekend for sure. So is Him for Her, another handmade musical instrument band. What's that? I think they're in Europe.
Yeah, I think Ireland. I think they might be in Ireland right now.
Very cool. And then last thing, it goes without saying, but I'm going to say it anyways, coming up not this weekend, but next weekend, Ben Baker. He's already mentioned it, but would you like to mention it again?
Sure I would. It is the 3rd annual International Georgia Cigar Box Guitar Festival, taking place down on the beautiful borders of Metropolis,
That's right.
Atlanta, Georgia, organized by our good buddy Rusty Taylor,
That's right.
sponsored in part by CB Gitty.
Yes.
And Rusty's sending me messages right now, but I'm not going to. All right, so yes, Georgia.
Hey, Terry Johnson's out there tomorrow now. Look at that.
Terry Mojo
You
Johnson.
just missed a little segment.
Well, if you're just tuning in, Terry, we ran your video and such at the beginning, in the first half of today's 3-part show. Wait, something like that, yes. And then in January, just after the first of the year, mid-January actually, the 4th annual, oh, you hear that rumble, folks? That's your orders being wheeled out to the loading dock for the CB Gitty Friday afternoon run. Anyway, the New Orleans Cigar Box Guitar Festival, January 15th through the 18th. As we mentioned, November 1st through 3rd, the Chicago. Hey there.
Hey there, guy.
Hey there, guy. Get out there.
How about them Bears? We're only poking fun because we poke fun at our own New England accents.
Oh,
so
yeah, boy.
we're awful. Wicked guy.
So that's about all we got for you today. We're going to try to do the Gitty theme song, not sitting next to each other.
Well, thank you very much, everybody, for joining us.
And happy birthday to Ma Gitty out there.
Happy birthday. It was a rough one, but a good one.
Huh?
It was rough, but it was good.
Well, we made it. We made it an hour without any huge mishaps, I think.
And I interrupted you as soon as you were about to jump in, but
No way, I can't.
with your
hear
vocals.
it.
Here we go.
Here we go, anyway. It's the Gitty Gang Show on Scarbox Nation TV. It's the Gitty Gang Show on Scarbox Nation TV. And we came to you live from CP Gitty. Well, we come to you live every Friday afternoon at 2. Say we come to you live every Friday afternoon at 2. And if we don't see you, we don't know what we'll do. I can't hear the bass at all.
Yeah.
But it's the Gitty Gang Show.
Gitty Gang Show.
It's the Gitty Gang Show.
Gitty Gang Show.
Say it's the Gitty Gang Show.
Gitty Gang Show.
It's the Gitty Gang Show. Oh, oh.
Gitty Gang Show.
It's the Gitty Gang Show on Scarbox Nation TV.
Come on now, Ben Baker.
What?
Come on now.
Can't see.
Can they hear you?
I think my mic should be picking it up. I hope. We don't know what the hell's going on, people. So, thank you for bearing with us, for playing along.
Yeah.
And hey, first day of autumn coming right up.
It is.
Tomorrow or the next day. So we will see you hopefully next week with Nick back in the driver's seat. God help us all. Until next time. Gonna mash some buttons.
Mash 'em.
Take it all away. Do 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 do. Oh, all right, we're to black. Oh no, we're back.
Ooh,
No.
I'll keep that jig going.